You're scrolling, and a notification lights up your phone. You see the subject line, the sender's name, and a little fist of cold clenches beneath your ribs. Your breath shortens.
Your shoulders creep up toward your ears. It's just an email.
Nothing is attacking you. But for a biological engine forged in a world of fangs and starvation, there is no such thing as just an email. That visceral clench in your gut is a million-year-old signal blaring through a modern speaker, and it's screaming one word: threat.
If even one of your direct ancestors had failed to feel that clench, had shrugged at a rustle in the grass or met a stranger's gaze with calm curiosity, you would not be here reading this. Their panic was your preservation. That email, that deadline, that social media comment that makes your face flush hot.
Your brain processes them with the same ancient, life-saving software that once scanned the savannah for silhouettes with teeth. The problem is, the software never got an update.
It's still looking for saber-tooths. And in a world where the threats are digital, social, and endless, it finds them everywhere, all day long, turning your inbox into a predator-filled thicket. To understand why, you have to leave your phone behind and step into a body that is not your own. The body of one of your ancient ancestors, 200,000 years ago.
The sun is a brutal white coin in a vast sky. You are not reading words on a screen. You are reading the landscape with every sense you possess. The wind isn't background noise. It's a carrier of information. The musk of a predator, the scent of water, the faint tang of a rival band.
Your eyes don't focus on one thing. They're in constant, subtle motion. Tracking the flutter of a bird, the shift of a shadow, the wrong stillness in the grass. Your hearing is tuned not to melodies, but to breaks in pattern, a snapped twig that doesn't belong, a silence that falls too suddenly.
This is your baseline state, a quiet, simmering vigilance. You are not stressed in the way we think of it. You are alert.
Alive. And this alertness is your first, best defense. Because the world you live in is governed by a brutal, simple equation.
Most things can kill you. A minor infection from a scrape.
A missed water source. A large cat you didn't see in time. Your brain's most important job is not to solve puzzles or feel joy.
Its most important job is to run a nonstop, subconscious calculation. Does this sensory input represent a threat to my survival? And it must err, violently, on the side of caution. Hearing a rustle and assuming it's a leopard means you jump, your heart hammers, you flee, you waste energy. Hearing a rustle and assuming it's the wind means you might die.
The cost of a false alarm is a burst of adrenaline and a sprint. The cost of a missed alarm is oblivion.
Guess which mistake our ancestors made more often? So, your ancient brain evolved a brilliant, paranoid shortcut. It's called the amygdala, two little almond-shaped clusters of neurons deep in your temporal lobe.
They are your brain's dedicated threat detection system, wired directly to your senses. They operate faster than your conscious thought. They don't think, they match.
They take a sensory snapshot, the shape of a crouching cat, the sound of a low growl, the specific pattern of angry human facial muscles, and compare it to a crude, ancestral library of bad things. If there's even a partial match, they don't send a memo to your rational prefrontal cortex for consideration. They hit the big red button. They trigger the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, the HPA axis, and unleash a cascade of chemistry designed for one purpose: fight or flight.
Your liver floods your bloodstream with glucose for sudden energy. Your heart rate soars to pump that fuel to your limbs.
Your breathing quickens to oxygenate the blood. Your pupils dilate to take in more visual information. Non-essential systems, digestion, immune function, long-term planning, are shut down to conserve resources for the immediate emergency.
You are now a biological missile, primed to explode into action. This system is phenomenally effective. It saved your lineage from countless mortal dangers.
And it is catastrophically mismatched to the world you actually live in. Because here is the twist, the beautiful, maddening flaw in the design. Your amygdala cannot tell the difference between a life-or-death physical threat and a life-or-death social threat.
To your ancient brain, which evolved in small, interdependent bands where exile meant almost certain death, social standing was survival. A look of contempt from the alpha, a rumor spread about your loyalty. Being shunned during a meal, these were not merely unpleasant. They were direct threats to your access to food, protection, and mating opportunities.
They triggered the same alarm bells as a predator. The brain uses the same fear pathways for a leopard snarl and for a rival sneer. It never evolved a separate circuit 4. Psychological stressors. A threat is a threat.
Now, fast forward to your world. You are not on a savanna.
You are in a chair, but your inbox pings. That ping is a modern rustle in the grass.
The email is from your boss. The subject line is, "We need to talk." Instantly, your sensory cortices fire. But the information doesn't go to your rational mind first.
It takes a superhighway straight down to your amygdala. The amygdala performs its ancient pattern matching.
Authority figure plus ambiguous summons plus potential disapproval equals partial match with social threat/exile. The red button is pressed. The cascade begins. The glucose hits your blood. But you don't leap up and sprint.
You sit there. Your heart hammers against your ribs, with nowhere to go. Your muscles, flooded with energy, tense into a rigid ache.
Your digestive system grinds to a halt, causing that familiar sick feeling in your stomach. Your body has just mounted a full-scale biological emergency response to
a string of text on a screen. And because you don't physically flee or fight, the stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, linger. They don't get burned off through action.
They simmer in your system, keeping you on high alert, waiting for the sprint that never comes. And the modern world is a cage designed to torture this ancient system. It is a nonstop festival of ambiguous, social, inescapable threats.
A critical comment on a post. A deadline notification.
A calendar alert for a meeting you dread. We need to talk text from a partner. Each one is a tiny, digital rustle in the grass.
Each one triggers a mini amygdala hijack, a micro shot of the survival cascade. But you are not facing one rustle per day. You are facing hundreds.
They come in sequences, overlapped, relentless. Your body doesn't have time to return to baseline.
The cortisol never fully clears. You exist in a state of chronic, low-grade emergency. Your brain, desperate to make sense of the constant alarm bells, does what it evolved to do. It starts looking for the predator.
And since there is no physical predator, it invents one. It latches onto the next deadline, the next awkward social interaction, the next item on the worry list. Your saber-toothed email is just the current stand-in for a nervous system screaming that it's under attack. In a world where the attacks never stop and the sprint never starts.
This is where most explanations stop. They say, your brain is ancient. The modern world is stressful. That's why you're anxious. But that's only half the story.
The deeper, more surprising revelation comes from what happened when researchers tried to run the experiment in reverse. They asked, what if we took modern humans and put them in an environment that mimicked not the constant danger of the ancient world, but its core rhythm, the rhythm our stress system actually evolved for? The results were not what anyone expected.
Because the ancient world wasn't a 24/7 horror show. It was punctuated by acute, massive stressors, the chase, the escape, the confrontation, followed by long periods of profound calm. The sprint was followed by the rest.
The cortisol spike was followed by its complete dissipation around a safe fire, surrounded by your band. With the immediate threat gone, the system was designed for sharp peaks and long, deep valleys.
Our modern environment gives us a flat, high plateau. We've removed the peaks of true physical danger, but we've completely erased the valleys of safety. We are always on.
And this constant state turns a survival mechanism into a pathology. But how do we know this for sure? How can we be confident that this isn't just a convenient story?
The proof lies in some fascinating, and at times unsettling, experiments. From observing isolated tribes whose stress profiles look nothing like ours, to lab studies where volunteers' physiological reactions are monitored as they face down digital deadlines versus physical challenges. The data paints a clear picture.
It shows that the most damaging stress isn't the big, scary event. It's the small, persistent, unresolved one. The email that sits unanswered, the conflict that's never addressed, the inbox that never reaches zero. It's the saber tooth that never leaps from the grass, but never leaves it either, keeping you forever coiled and ready for a fight that never arrives.
And what scientists discovered when they looked at the archaeology of our ancestors' lives adds an even stranger layer to this. Archaeologists digging at ancient campsites made a curious discovery. They found layers of ash, not from massive, destructive fires, but from small, carefully maintained hearths.
And mixed in with that ash, in sediments dating back 77,000 years, were traces of sedge grass and other plants chosen for their insect-repelling qualities. This wasn't just a place to cook.
This was constructed bedding, a made bed, a designated place of safety and rest.
Your ancestors weren't just fighting for survival, they were ritualizing recovery. They were building the valley. The fire served a purpose deeper than warmth or warding off animals.
Its flickering light would have literally silenced the amygdala's alarm. The dancing flames created a predictable, mesmerizing sensory pattern, a direct signal to the deep brain that the immediate threat scan could be paused. The circle of known faces, the soft murmurs of a shared language, the full belly, the designated sleeping mat, all of it was a multi-sensory bulletin to the nervous system. Stand down.
The watch is shared. You are safe now. Asterisk, that is the profound disconnect.
Your body still expects that valley. It completes the stress cycle for you. After the sprint came the collapse by the fire, the shared story, the deep, unbroken sleep.
The cortisol had a job, and then it was dismissed. In your world, the sprint never begins, so the cycle never ends. The cortisol stays on the payroll, pacing your bloodstream like a confused security guard in an empty building, checking locks that were never threatened.
So that tightness in your shoulders as you read that email isn't just a mistake. It's a profound act of loyalty.
Your body is standing its ancient post. It is pouring energy into your limbs, begging you to do the one thing that would resolve the alarm: move. To physically flee the threat or confront it.
But you can't flee a calendar notification. You can't punch a disappointing quarterly report. So the energy has nowhere to go.
It becomes the ache, the clench, the buzzing static in your veins. The quiet gut punch is this: your anxiety is not a malfunction.
It is a perfectly functioning ancient system, faithfully responding to the wrong world. That knot of dread is a million-year-old wellness check, asking a question you can no longer answer in the way your body understands. Asterisk, where is the fire? Where is the circle? Asterisk.
Where's the clear end to the threat so I can stand down? Asterisk, this changes everything. It means the goal isn't to eliminate the clench beneath your ribs. That's like trying to delete your immune system because it causes a fever. The goal is to complete the cycle it's trying to start.
To give that loyal, ancient physiology the signal it was built to receive. Mission accomplished. And you do that not with more thinking, but with the raw, physical language your amygdala speaks. You close the laptop after a hard work session, and you take a brisk, 5-minute walk, literally mimicking the fleeing from the mental predator.
You feel the social tension after a difficult conversation, and you seek out a long, tight hug from someone you trust. The modern equivalent of returning to the safe circle, triggering the oxytocin that counters cortisol. You shake out your limbs, dance to one loud song, or sprint up a flight of stairs. Anything that tells your biochemistry the action has been taken. The threat is handled. You are building your own ash circle, your own 77,000-year-old bed, in real time.
So the next time that cold fist clenches beneath your ribs as you stare at the screen, pause for just a second. Don't judge it. Listen to it.
That feeling is the ghost of every ancestor who ever outran a threat, long enough to make it back to the fire. It is not a sign that you are broken for modern life.
It is a sign that you are exquisitely, painfully alive to an older one. It is your body's deepest, most loyal question, echoing up through the ages into your silent, well-lit room. Where is the fire? And your job, now, is to build one.